Yeah, this is episode 12 of the Round Circle Podcast with your host, the Fifth General, Zaccheus and Cinemascapes. What's up, y'all?
Mm-hmm. What's up, man?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good, man. Yeah.
That's what's up. All right, so I'm gonna name everything we talking about today. That way, for the listeners, y'all know what we talking about. We're gonna talk about the Oscars real quick. We're gonna talk about the situation in South Africa, Rick Ross's current health condition, and we're gonna our main topic will be about the show that premiered on USA last week, Unsolved, Murders of Tupac and Biggie. We're going to give our review on episode 1, and we'll kind of give our thoughts on everything the show was about. Does the show kind of serve a purpose at this point? And then also in real life, what's going to happen? Will we ever find out who killed Biggie and Pac? Do we still believe that? All right. And then we'll post some interesting theories. I actually have something I want to say about that too myself, a personal thing I believe. All right. So, all right. Let's get into the Oscars. I didn't watch it, but the only reason why I wanted to talk about it was because, I mean, it's relevant, whatever. A particular thing that I had took interest in was Jordan Peele, the director of the movie Get Out, also the producer of the film. He wrote the script as well, and so he won the award for Best Original Screenplay. What are your thoughts on that? I know we all saw the movie, but what are your thoughts on that? Is it well deserved? Does it matter if he won or not? Does it solidify his status in the game in the future? Like what do y'all think? Cinema, you go first.
Well, basically, that was something Hollywood hadn't seen. Like, if you've seen B movies and stuff, you kind of know. But the way he wrote it, it was a mainstream type script that, you know, if a studio picked up, it could have been recognized, even if he had a bigger budget. It was something that really hasn't been seen on the stage that it's been seen before. So I feel it's well deserved.
Okay.
It's something, he said it himself. It's something, you go through mini drafts and stuff, and he said it's a lot of times it just didn't connect with him while he was writing it. Then he finally got what he got what we saw on screen, which worked. He had been working it out because he wanted to see a movie for someone like him, So basically the response of it and how it wasn't just, one community that responded to it. Basically, they had to recognize it some way.
Right.
They weren't giving it Best Picture, but,
Right.
But
yeah.
And my man, the actor, wasn't winning. But
yeah, Daniel Kaluuya.
Even though
Daniel
he killed
Kaluuya,
it.
yeah. Yes, he did.
But getting nominated is in itself. Nominated actor, that's pull for him. You get clout. That'll help him in his career. But yeah, as far as the writing, that you didn't really see that coming when you were watching.
No.
Not
not the Oscars. No, I didn't think they would recognize that movie. I thought they would stay 100 to 300, 500 feet away from that movie.
Yeah, and considering only 4 black men in 90 years have been nominated according to sources.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
In 90 years, we won for 4. So, but basically on the work, the work is good. So I'd say it's deserved,
Okay.
Kobe gets one for an animated film.
Yeah, talk about Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. and Kobe.
I knew nothing about this film. I knew nothing about it.
I didn't even see it.
It was a promotional film, and it was on a site, and it was advertised. I forgot when it was advertised. Was it last year? I'm not even going to get into that. It's an animated film about about his journey with basketball.
Right.
So it was kind of animated. That was it was a good film. So Kobe wanted to do something different,
Right.
to show his love for basketball and his journey. And you can't film and show him how he was unless you get actors. But animation was good. It's a decent piece.
Okay.
Not decent. It's good. I'm just kidding.
Right.
It was something different,
Yeah, but that was a nice surprise because I didn't even know about that one when I was watching.
Yeah.
And so, basically the art is well deserved. Especially I'm surprised since something like Wonder Woman didn't even get nothing, not even on the technical side.
I'm shocked. I thought that would have got something though. But anyway.
But we'll see with Black Panther because we won't know about that till next year because it's not eligible for this year. It wasn't because it just came out, really. So we'll find out. There's a lot of technical things, there's a lot of things that you could be nominated for, even if you're not Best Picture and stuff, and you don't see representation. You saw The Shape of Water had 13, and I'll just leave that alone right there. But
well, see, Denzel got nominated for Roman J. Israel Esquire. And the best actor as well. So him and Daniel Kaluuya, if anything, they probably would have out of the two, they probably would have gave it to Denzel. But Gary Oldman ended up winning that for The Darkest Hour.
But and I ain't even gonna front because if you see Gary Oldman in that film, does not even look like that dude.
Yeah, I've never seen the film, so I wouldn't know.
It's based on historical. He's playing Winston Churchill.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to see it, but I wanted to see it.
Yeah, it's a movie.
I love historical movies. I wanted to see it.
Yeah, I like seeing historical movies too.
During that time.
Yeah, and so
the Adolf Hitler time. Yeah,
that's like Daniel Day-Lewis for Lincoln. That's Oscars love that kind of stuff.
Right.
That's usually who comes out with that. And so based on how Get Out was written and how it is in action, it was a very good film.
Yeah.
He's a great writer.
Yeah.
And
he talked about how Jordan Peele since then has talked about what he has in the future. He has movies and television series that are kind of similar to that genre of Get Out. And he made a statement. He said Get Out is not just a movie, it's actually a documentary. So Zaccheus, what's your opinion on Jordan Peele winning for best original screenplay?
I'm happy that it was recognized and I'm happy that he won.
Yeah,
because it was well written, and I think that it was so woke that I didn't even think that we could even put that on the forefront to even be nominated, because I think it had a message in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Had a strong message in that movie, but those who, because I've met people that did want to go see the movies. People like us that went to go see a movie didn't like it. They was like, I guess they didn't get the message. But those who woke got it.
You had a lot of people. You had a lot of people in interracial relationships with white women or with white men. They were a little scared to watch that movie.
What I say, uncomfortable. Yeah, so,
I know a married couple right now. That brother seen that movie without his woman.
Right, his wife was not even present, right?
No, she don't even know he saw it. He ain't even tell her. Ain't that sad? Look, if you let me just say something real quick. I'm gonna get back to Zaccheus, but I just gotta get this in. If you in a marriage and you scared to let your wife or husband know about what film you watch, then you shouldn't be in that marriage. Hello.
What do you think about that? Cinema true, right?
I know interracial couples that went and saw it together and enjoyed it.
Right? Yeah, because
So,
that's a mature couple. That's a mature one.
Exactly, but that's not the majority.
Right.
You know what it is?
And, yeah.
Oh,
Get back in here,
yeah.
Zaccheus.
Hey, this one chick on Instagram said that her DM's been, this white woman, she said her DM's been dry since Get Out came out.
Oh.
They don't want to be in the sucking place. And on top of that, I'm sorry, let me get a few jokes in. I'm sorry, Zaccheus, let me get a few jokes in.
It's okay.
The brother, remember the memes? All through when Black Panther came out, the brother who they said that man done got out the sunken place and went to Wakanda. All them memes they showed with the brother Daniel Kaluuya. They said they said when they see him in the streets, they call him Wakabi. Cause that was his name in Black Panther.
Black Panther.
So when they see him, they're like, yo, Wakabi. It was like, make sure you stay off that sunken place, all right? So, it's funny. Get Out was impactful. This brother happened to be in his big movies. 2 big movies that were impactful. How about that? That brother's in good company.
He does good work.
Yeah.
He does good work.
Big boss man.
And he's a young brother. He's got a bright future ahead of him. I mean, he went from having his I'm happy for the brother because, a young brother getting some shine. He just so happened to do a movie called Get Out. And then he's in Black Panther. I just think it's funny. I just think it's fun. I just think it's so funny.
All the way from England too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what was his people's is from Africa, but right, he right, because when you hear him talk, he got that accent, that British accent. So, and it's funny because I posted a meme on my Instagram a while back, and it said brothers in 2017, and then it had him with the girl from Get Out, and then it said brothers in 2018, and it showed him in a picture with Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh yeah, Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Zaccheus, back to you. I'm sorry, man. I just want to put that.
Yeah, in. Man. That movie was a good one, man. It just. I'm just so happy that he won, man. It reflected on what. It was just reflected on racism, but it was just reflected on just waking up, just being up, and being aware.
There's a lot of things going on in that film.
Right. And might I
whole lot.
Not that this matters, but it's this brother's choice. Jordan Peele just so happens to be married to a white Jewish woman. And hey, she loved the movie and she's very supportive from what I hear. I hear she's a good wife. So God bless the brother. I don't want to get into, he not into black women. That's not true because I've heard him talk about that. That's not true. It's not that he's not into black women. I just want to put that in there. He this just so happened to be his wife. I mean, he's mixed himself. Where he grew up had a lot to do with that. He was pursuing black women. But he just so happened to find somebody along the way who just so happens to not be black, and that's his wife. And my thing is, brother, if you could still be who you are as a black man and she respect that, as long as you ain't cooning, I don't have a problem with that. If he starts the cooning, then I'm gonna get at him. But as long as he don't do that,
when he put out Get Out,
I mean, yeah, he put out Get Out. I understand that, but as long as he ain't cooning, we good. And you know what? He said that he had other stuff written. He said he had other scripts. He said that he had stuff written for original series. So I want the brother to keep up the good work.
Oh.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's move on. Let's move on. Off the air, we was talking about the recent events in South Africa. Okay. So the Parliament passed some policy. You know, they got some things in action, some policy about land expiration from the colonizers who stole the land, the farmland, and then now seizing it back without compensation. What are your thoughts on that? Zaccheus, you go first.
Yeah, Afrikaners, the colonists took that land years and maybe centuries and years and years and years ago. They claim it as their own.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
way before apartheid.
Way before apartheid. They claim it as their own, but now because it was stolen and they claim the land as theirs. But you know what? It's too late because the new president came in. It's a new day and a new age.
Yeah.
But we're taking this over. And bye-bye farmers, goodbye.
Yep. The takeover. Jay-Z, the takeover. Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah, so what you say? You think they're gonna fight for it?
I believe
bow
so.
Out, gracefully bow out.
No, they're not gonna gracefully bow out, and I think the South Africans know that, and they're preparing themselves. But here's the thing: when it comes to what happens going forward, you got to understand this is a way of fighting for independence. I got to look at it this way: this is their virtue of fighting for independence and getting that white supremacy out of there. I mean, look what Haiti is still going through. They're still being punished for this. So
Yes.
I need people in South Africa and the other African countries, if you care, and you need to line up with your brothers and sisters down there because something's going to happen. Gaddafi, one of the reasons why Gaddafi is dead right now is because he tried to unite the whole Africa. He wanted to have like a united Africa. Okay? He wanted to create his own currency. And he wanted to open up trade. No, actually he wanted to get rid of the trade and the influence of white supremacy and all the other countries that have been raping the land of Africa. That man is dead now. Mugabe was another brother who wanted to have that for his country too and the rest of Africa, but they ended up getting him out of power too. Okay, now he's alive; he ain't dead. Basically exiling him, and then now you got this situation in South Africa. So I'm telling you, black folks down there better prepare themselves. And I'm actually, it makes me think that South Africans seem to be a little more woke. It's kind of unfair to say. This is not. Let me be very careful when I say this. There are coons in Africa. Not all of y'all are coons. I'm not saying that. But it's an example that I see that's very common in South Africa. There's something about South Africa. There's something about that country in particular and the people there that have a no-nonsense, they seem to have more of a no-nonsense policy when it comes to white supremacy compared to the other African countries. And I think a lot of that has to do with apartheid.
Does.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
So
Yes.
I think what South Africa is telling the rest of Africa that we did it and you can do it too. And white supremacy knows that. Okay. And this is why they are going to prepare themselves accordingly. This is why I'm saying they're going to have to watch out. Cinema, what's your take on this?
Well, with everything that was endured in South Africa, if you've seen all that stuff, Biko, I was alive for when Stephen Biko got killed.
I know who you're talking
Sarafina,
about. Yeah.
Peter Gabriel, who's from the group Genesis, made a whole song about that. And even when he just did his soul concert again, he made sure he ended he did his anniversary tour. He ended it with Biko, and it's an old song, but it's a a lot of musicians and people had to bring awareness because people didn't know. So musicians like Paul Simon, all of them started traveling down, bringing awareness to what was going on. And a lot, there's a lot of activists we know about Mandela, but when you dealing with colonization, that's something that's there, that wasn't there, that was forced. And you're talking about a government agreeing to just say, get out,
Yeah.
Right.
We're just taking it, that's something similar to like Jubilee in the Jewish culture. Every so many years, everything goes back. So
interesting.
So you see a lot, they're doing a reset with their country.
Yes. And
so if you want to start a new order, you have to get rid of whatever has been going there. And, they're crying out to, those people are crying out to Trump to come here because they just see what they see from the exterior. That's not really going on everywhere. It's going on in some parts of the country. Some parts of the country are one way, some other parts of the country are another way. So, you don't really get a picture of what's going on because we're still kind of looking from afar. But it sounds just like a country that's just trying to take control of its destiny, trying to hit the reset button and, let's establish something new.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame them because, generations of oppression is no joke.
No.
Oh, wow. No. Oppression, yeah.
And then,
yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, and when it's systematic, because we have systematic things in this country too.
Yes.
But not to the degree of where you can openly be like that completely. It's like what happens is here they do it on the it's kind of on the download. People know what happens, but it's not on the books. When you had that on the books, that means what they were enforcing was worse.
Yeah, there's a form of Jim Crow that is still active in South Africa. A lot of people don't know that.
Right.
There are certain areas where black people can't even go.
Right, and that's why they're
and it's the year 2018.
That's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
You know what?
We're
a lot of us,
it. Give us back the land. You come on, Zaccheus, come on in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry to cut you, man.
Nah, go ahead. You have something to say.
No, there's a lot of us that don't know. A lot of us here that don't know that's just up on what's going on in Africa diaspora or South Africa. We don't know. So when you mentioned about going on, it's like wow. And it's 2018. It just goes to say that there's a lot that we don't know. There's a lot that we need to be informed about, and a lot that we need to just open our minds to, and just spread the message around that this is going on, and because because what we do is we close our mind to what's going on outside the world. We only keep it in the round circle here in the U.S. But there's a lot going on in other places too. I mean, what you call it? Slavery. Trade slavery still going on still.
Exactly.
But we don't keep up. We don't keep up on stuff like that.
That's true.
It's not because CNN don't show it. The media here don't report it. Yeah. So that's why it's important for us to keep logged into what's going on around our, especially in our African diaspora, us as brothers and everything. Yeah. We keep it. Don't know what's going on, so we can spread it to. Because a lot of us don't know. Man.
That's why it's important to have black-owned media, because our stories are not being told by us.
And then,
and
then number two, if something I do on social media, I don't follow stuff around here. I follow stuff that I'm allowed to from around the world, so I can get whispers of a story. Because we don't have the media, but then if you're following local news somewhere, you're going to hear things like, it's like, I still follow New York local news because I want to know what's going on day to day.
Yeah, I do too.
A national feed.
Yeah.
Because I've lived there. I still have people up there. I follow local where I live, wherever I've lived.
Yeah.
And so I started following. I follow local in Europe because I want to know European music and groups.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing that worldwide where there's opportunity, because a lot of times we use, social media has been, they try to deter us like it's not like real contact. But it's like if you're talking with somebody week after week and you're playing games with them and you're really start talking about deep things, you're getting to know that person even though you haven't seen them, because that's what communication is. What they're trying to teach us is communication is something that it's not, When we talk, we're having communication, even if we don't live in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
There's growth between us, and then there's understanding. And so we are communicating with other people. It's not always shallow. People may be shallow, then you're dealing with a shallow person. That's not the process of communication. What the systematic lies like to do is cheapen things that are of value, so you won't use them or do them, because it wants to label it. Oh, that's nothing like, why do you think they came with, when Snowcap came and it was a worldwide, whatever the thing was called, it was a worldwide music thing that I was in, and your music was distributed worldwide, past licensing. It would do the licensing everywhere for you.
Right.
Like when I had to get the licensing back for my first album. It took a while because they had to come and say, no, we represent him. We know this is, because it was around the world. Just Dirt was released in 2006 and it was licensed around the world. So when I had to go back to my new publisher, it took them a while to put the album up, but I gave them a buffer and, doing the research, knowing it was going to take them a while to get my album, but they were going to be able to do it because they're representing me now. And that old company no longer exists. But, those things, every time something like that comes up that can unite and it goes beyond there where people can't get their money, which, we talked about this a little bit. I don't remember when, but, when the system can't make money off of you, it's going to destroy what you're doing, Yeah. These are the things South Africa's trying to get rid of, because this is a basic reset. And so if you don't own property or nothing, we're back all on the same stage. Now the government could do whatever they want with it, and the people who owned it and the families who owned it and it was stolen from them could have it back. And so basically your restrictions of me being here or not being here can't happen because I own this. It's a lot to get rid of the Jim Crow and the thing, how hard they fought here in this country,
Oh, yes.
I can tell you stories my parents tell me about segregating schools. My dad getting thrown downstairs and stuff.
Here's an interesting thing. We know that.
Right.
We know that when it comes to the justice system, if you steal something, you have to face the consequences, whether that's jail time or anything else. With South Africa, when you think about it, they're kind of letting some of these people off the hook because they didn't say for the ones who stole it, for all of them who stole it, because all of them stole it, they didn't say, we going to throw you in prison. They just said they're taking it back. So if anything, I think they're getting off easy. Yeah,
because they don't want to deal with a lot of things. They just rather reset it. Mm-hmm. Because if you want to form something, you'll be dealing with the backlog in your judicial system. Mm-hmm. Then you would have to prove things. Mm-hmm. Forget that.
Exactly.
Forget dealing with it. Let's just cut to the chase. Mine, give me. Yeah. Give me mines. Yeah. We used to say when we were kids.
Yep. But this is justice. If you steal something from somebody, and then give it back. Just give it, and if you ain't giving it back, then it got to be taken back. That's justice.
Yeah, that's justice. Yeah,
and I think it's the best way. Instead of doing all the bureaucracy and all the things and trying to do this, this is just law. We agree. Parliament agreed. It's established, and nobody's not going to be able to change it. Mm-hmm. What are they going to do? Legislation ain't coming through to change that. Ain't nobody voting. It seemed to be the general consensus.
And you can't say it's unconstitutional to that government because, first of all, it's unconstitutional. It's unconstitutional to steal.
Right.
See, but America don't want to have that conversation. That's unconstitutional.
Right.
America don't want to have a lot of conversation.
No.
So they need to just step back and mind their business.
Yeah, they need to shut the heck up forever. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to get into Rick Ross. Hold on, go ahead.
I can't let you pass that. Shut the heck up forever. I'm sorry, folks listening. I can't let that pass. I'm going to use that. Shut the heck up forever. And only people listening to know what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's my new hashtag. All right, let's move on.
I got to give credit to Charlamagne because he's the first person I heard say that. But anyway, so but yeah, exactly.
He's the first one that said that.
Yeah, well, no.
The heck up forever.
He said, "Shut the f up forever."
Whatever.
So mine's is a clean version.
Yeah, it's the clean version. I said, whoa. That's like Courtney.
All right, we're gonna.
When I first heard him say that, I was done. You know the belly laugh where you bend over holding.
Oh my God.
That's
We gotta move on. I know it's funny. We gotta move on. So Rick Ross. Let's get into the current health condition of Rick Ross. Let me just briefly say that his condition. Okay, so sources say, one of them being TMZ, that he was in his home unresponsive, and they're saying it's a result of a heart attack. So at the time, you were hearing sources about him being hooked up to life support machines and stuff like that. One source is saying that he's off the machine as of today's March 5th as we're recording. So off the machine. But just because you're off the machine don't mean you're 100%. So,
right.
In respect, I pray he has a healthy recovery. What are you guys responses to this story? And I'll even add this in, even though I kind of said I wouldn't. Let's get into 50 Cent. Zaccheus, you mentioned this. I just want to say, let me say it real quick before we get into it. I'm gonna let you go next. I just want to get into it.
Okay.
50 Cent is quoted for quoting Ivan Drago from Rocky IV. He said in a line when Ivan Drago was talking to Apollo Creed, and he was saying that if he dies, he dies. That is from the movie. 50 just so happens to agree with those sentiments with Rick Ross. 50 and Rick Ross background have had beef for a good amount of years. So that's why 50 would say that. It's not right, but I just want to explain why he said that, to kind of give some perspective on why he said that. I don't want the man to die. You know. So, Zaccheus, what's your thoughts on all of this with Rick Ross and, and all of that being said?
Just want him to feel better, get well.
Yeah.
I listened to some of the music over the time when he came out and when he was out, and especially when he came up with I remember the first one he came up with was just like I'm a hustler.
Oh, every day I'm hustling.
Joint? Yeah. Everyday hustle. Yeah, I thought it was a good joint. I just want him to recover.
Hated that record. Just saying. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you hated it?
I hated that record.
Yeah.
I know why, because I know what he listens to.
But nah, go ahead, Zaccheus.
I mean, it was not it was when 50 said what he said was not even if you have beef, I don't think you should his content of character was not so good to say that too, because people also, when you're an artist, people also look at your character too. I know but I still pray for his well-being, and never met Rick Ross, but Just hoping that he feels better. That's all. I mean, I definitely wouldn't. Even if I had beef with him, I definitely wouldn't wish death on him. You know, I wouldn't do that at all. You know, not my character to do that. But I don't think it was right for 50 to even jump out and say something.
Hey, this might be breaking news. As of 1:08 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, March 5th, it's saying that he's home. That he's going home. Okay.
Well, okay, that's good news.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's good news. Mm-hmm.
So he went from one hospital. He went from and within the 4 days, he went from one hospital to the other. He got transferred. Okay, so that's what's going on. But it says that sources are saying that he's home. Okay. Well, God bless him.
Yeah,
this is according to TMZ.com. Yeah,
which is usually accurate.
Yeah, March 5th. Okay, because we're recording this on March 5th.
Liar.
Yeah. All right. Cinema, go ahead.
Can we? That I didn't like about this whole thing.
Repeat that one more time. The audio went out for a second. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to deal with something that I saw that I didn't like.
Okay.
Now, all the people who are cool with him, I'm fine. Like, let's say I'm not like the biggest fan, but I don't want no one to die.
No.
But if
I
wasn't riding with a dude,
yeah,
I'm not posting. Like, if you don't see Rick Ross down my timeline, you ain't gonna see him now. Like, like I'm bigging up, like he's my boy. Like all his peoples, yeah, that's fine. But if you was like a hater,
yeah,
or you wasn't down,
yeah,
and now you're all acting like, oh, I'm,
yeah.
Like that last month, or you talking about where he been, not just where he been, but I ain't gonna say the other.
Yeah,
It's like there's an amount of respect. If you can't say something good at all, even if that, you could just fall back. No, 50 ain't gonna fall back. So
50 is these days is
50 is 50.
50 been trolling since he came out.
Yeah,
How to Rob is the ultimate troll song. Okay, so he's been trolling everybody, not just Ja Rule. He's been trolling everybody. He's a professional troll.
Exactly. So we know he ain't gonna fall back, but
yeah,
the fake love, I was kind of like, but it's like, sent a prayer up for a brother though.
Exactly.
Because you don't want to see anybody leave this world. They have family, friends, and things of that nature that's beyond their career, beyond their persona, and you don't really know a person. So, we've been, basically the best to him, his friends, family. Good if he's out, get better. There's people who love him who don't want him to go yet. So
yeah,
I could pull for a brother, but
I want to take a moment to kind of talk about some personal things outside of music that I do respect him for.
Yes,
and this is why I want him to teach this more. So he's a job creator because he's bought a franchise, Wingstops, pretty much in most states, especially down in Florida where he's at, in Miami. I appreciate that. He's a businessman. I do wish that musically he could kind of speak more about that to kind of help. I mean, he's not recognized for that. He's more so recognized about his other lyrical content. I will say that, I made a comment about how I hated that song. I hated that song. I don't hate every song. I hated that particular song because when he first came out, I didn't take him serious. But he did have records after that were good. He's, to me, Rick Ross, I think, has gotten better musically than he did when he first came out. And he does have stuff that I like. One of the songs that really caught my attention from him was that song he did with John Legend called Magnificent. That's a really good record.
That's a That's a recap.
Yeah.
Special ed joint.
Yeah, and he did that.
That joint, yeah.
I think that was on Rick's second album, if I'm not mistaken. But that's when he really started to get my attention musically. And I said, "Oh, okay, I like this. But I'm with you on what you said, Cinema, about the fake love part. Ain't gonna be no fake love on my end from anybody. And I'll give an example, and I need to make this very, very brief. When it comes to UGK, when Pimp C died, I was never a Pimp C fan. Never. But I did like Bun B. I like Bun B because Bun B I felt was lyrically superior. Leaps and bounds ahead of Pimp C if we're talking lyricism. But Pimp C, personally, from what I hear, was a good dude. Good dude. Right? But I just didn't like him musically. So when he passed, I wasn't on some R.I.P. Pimp C like as if I was his fan from day one. I respect the R.I.P., but what I'm saying is I didn't become a fan of his when he died. And you see a lot of that happen with Aaliyah, Biggie, Pac, and a lot of Big Pun. People who didn't like any of their music when they were living, all of a sudden they're fans now. Michael Jackson, Prince. I mean, let me tell you something. I feel the same about Prince when he was alive that I do now. And let me say this. This is going to be controversial. I thought Prince was kind of off to me. Okay? No, his music's great. Don't get me wrong. But there was something about his look, the way he carried himself. I just thought it was very soft. And when you think about it, Michael was soft too. But Prince was softer. Well, at least it appeared that way.
Yeah.
So no, I'm just saying. I think it's pause worthy where you wearing pants with the butt cut out. I'm just saying a man shouldn't be doing that. So I still feel the same about Prince then that I do now. I just gotta keep it real. I gotta keep it real. I never see a dude wear high heels like that. Thank you. So I still feel the same about Prince. His music is great. He's a genius. But I just thought, Prince was a weirdo.
Game blasses.
But respect though. Respectfully speaking, this is not the down the man because he's not here. But I'm just saying how I felt about him when he was alive. I still feel about him now. I didn't all of a sudden now become some Prince enthusiast all of a sudden now. Now all of a sudden I'm his biggest fan because people who know me like y'all would check me for that. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't do all of that.
Like when Prince died, what did I do? I took pictures of my CD collection of all CDs and rare versions of like when he had the music club of albums and stuff. My boy got all the DVDs. Like if I'm not a fan, I'm not gonna be up there going, "Oh wow." God forbid, like if
oh God,
somebody
where's this
today,
going?
Like if Beyonce died today,
Jesus,
God forbid.
That's not.
I ain't gonna front.
You're gonna have the Beehive. The Beehive gonna be mad at this.
No, I don't hate Beyonce as an artist, but I bought only 4 or 5 things. I bought Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I bought Deja Vu.
Mm-hmm.
Love on Top.
Mm-hmm.
I like her music,
right.
but I don't spend that money to where I would,
right.
would consider myself a Beehive fan.
Right.
It's not like I don't like her.
Right.
I'm not gonna front.
No, you're gonna keep it real.
Like, I was right.
Right.
My niece is in fact, y'all could thank my niece. My niece is a huge Beyonce fan.
Mm-hmm.
So I hear stuff, and then it's like I'm not the type of person to like if I heard something don't like it, I'm not. If you do something that's good, I'm giving you your props for it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And Beyonce comes up. Beyonce's a great entertainer.
Right.
One of my favorite live performances ever is her and Kendrick on the BET Awards. That is on my iPad.
Yeah, performing Freedom.
Cause she
Freedom.
At the BET Awards.
And I ain't gonna front. I got live concerts by her. I got a lot of live concerts from people. There's a lot of people I listen to their live concerts, but I don't buy their albums. Like I have their DVDs here and Blu-rays. So,
Right.
I have her concert. So I watch that because I love her concert. I'll pay to see her in concert because I think it's a good ticket. But I'm not gonna front like, oh, it ain't like that ain't like Stevie to me. You guys know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like deep cuts of Stevie, people be looking at me like, that ain't it. Yeah, it is. Like I'm talking about when you're going into deep cuts of somebody.
Yeah.
I don't go into deep cuts of Beyonce.
Like I know what you like. My Sherry, yeah.
That's
Yeah, of
not
course.
a deep cut.
Ribbon in the sky for the world.
Right, those are banging Stevie songs, but those aren't deep cuts.
Yeah.
Like I'll get some obscure thing and people are like, huh? Yeah, Stevie's a beast.
Or what's the joint from where Kanye sampled We Made Ya?
Yeah. Yeah, but he actually had somebody play it.
Yeah, he had an orchestrator, yeah.
Because Stevie said no. I heard. I don't know. That's still rumor.
Yo.
But yeah, moving on.
Yeah,
because
this is because
we got to talk about the show.
We got to talk about Unsolved.
Yeah.
But go ahead, finish your last statement. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Basically, if you're gonna be if I'm a fan of your music and I listen to you a bit, I'm gonna rep it like that. Like, yeah, I like those songs. I bought that song. I spent money on Beyonce.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't spend money on Beyonce like I spent on Stevie.
Yeah.
Like I spent on Hiromi and My Jazz. Like I spend money on old school rap. When Wild Pitch reissued OC's first album, I paid for that day. And I was already tight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You
mean OC?
Money. Yeah, his first album, the Word Life album with Time's Up.
Yeah,
it got reissued. Yeah, it got reissued. The first day I bought that. Like the Old King and I used to listen to. I bought that the first day I found that out that was on digital. People you spend money like immediately, or people like, okay, I gotta wait till I have some extra money before I spend something. It's a difference.
Yeah.
Different.
You're not a hardcore fan of them. And I love Beyonce. She's the greatest. I'll go see a concert. I'll pay the money. But I didn't spend money on her music like that at first.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna front like I did.
Yeah.
I'm a later Beyonce fan. I ain't gonna front. Like, I've been down from day one.
Right.
Like I was with Aaliyah. Aaliyah, I was a day one fan. But
because the moral of the story is, if you was hating from day one, don't be loving them after. Like, what kind of mess is that? That's fake.
Exactly. It's fake love. Yes, it is.
It's fake love.
It is.
All right, let's segue into this because this is gonna make a lot of sense. Speaking on Biggie and Pac, so we're gonna talk about the show that premiered on USA Network, Unsolved: Murders of Tupac and Biggie Smalls. Zaccheus, you saw episode 1. I'm gonna ask you first. What is your review of episode 1?
There's a lot of things that I didn't know, because I mean, in the beginning, quite a few things. When I seen the first clip when the officer Kevin Gaines was in the vehicle, it said 9 days after Biggie Smalls' death, was an undercover police officer and a white officer, undercover officer, had them road rage, and they had exchanged words with each other. Then shooting going on, and then next thing you know, the black officer got clipped, and he hit a pole and he died. So I didn't know that about Kevin, the aspect of the undercover officer Kevin Gaines. I didn't know if it was true or not, but I didn't know that aspect of it, But,
right.
It just shoot, it just takes me back to that time when I remember when I heard Biggie died. I was I can remember very clearly, man. It was a Saturday, and then it was a Saturday, just hanging out, friends going out hanging out, and then Sunday, a friend called me and said, "Yo, Biggie's gone."
Yeah.
I said, "Biggie's gone." I said, "What do you mean?"
Yeah, you thought he was joking.
I thought he was joking. I said, "Notorious B.I.G. You mean Biggie Smalls died?" He said, "Yeah, he got shot at a party last night." I said, "In L.A." I said, "Oh, he was at a party in L.A. He got shot." I said, "He said, yeah, he got shot. He got DOA." And then when I turned on the radio, because at the time in 1997, I think it was I think Kiss FM was still on. It was a hip hop station at that time. And then the next thing you know, I'm turn on the radio. Then all these people, they're playing this music, and then all these just saying their condones and just saying that, yeah. So I was like, man, so when I watched Unsolved, it just brought me back to that time. And the only what I like about it, this show the years 1993 when Biggie and Pac were friends. That time in that moment. And but one thing I noticed in that movie, in that series, that they didn't play any of the music.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that.
I want to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're gonna all talk about that together. Cinema, what's your take on episode 1? What's your review?
Okay, episode 1, I didn't know where they were going, but it's it's USA production, so it's kind of like Law and Order. So I know if they're showing you this, this is gonna come back.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole road rage incident, him being involved with with Suge's wife and all that,
Yeah, what's up? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and all that, the detective work, how he got the tape. They were showing you not only the connection to that, but they were showing you how savvy this detective is,
right?
How observant he is. This is not your normal guy. He's quirky. He's, we're meeting the character because basically they're showing you while the two investigations are going, they're going to go parallel. They're going to show you how it's connecting. And so instead of like doing a thing, they're showing you past, present, and future and flipping between all that. They're flipping between things with Biggie and Pac. They're flipping between things with the task force. They're showing theories from the original investigation. So it's it's very interesting how it's put together from a character wise. But it's good, and then you also have to remember things are sensationalized because it's a work of fiction.
Yes,
based on fact. So you have to some things you got to take with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
We'll probably
okay.
when we have the whole series, there's some questions I'll be able to answer.
That's true.
I still have a lot of questions about that cop, and and I like the main cop, but the flashback cop.
Mm-hmm.
I think his partner's shady.
Yeah,
but we haven't got.
Time will tell.
Haven't gotten to that yet.
Yeah, as the series as the series moves on, we'll be definitely be able to 10 episodes. So we'll definitely be able to break that down. That'll probably be the last episode. That'll be the last episode of the podcast for this season. Probably for for talking about that show. By the time we get to that.
Yeah.
So
So I was happy to see Bokeem.
Yeah.
Yeah, Woodbine. Yeah.
I was like, okay, but I like how they're setting it up because they're introducing the characters. Pilots are not usually the strongest in any series, and this was a pretty strong pilot, despite the other things we're about to discuss.
Yes,
it's a strong pilot because a pilot is a setup, and and little things I noticed, like they use the Biggie movie, like a lot of the descriptiveness in the Biggie movie for that scene.
Yeah, Notorious.
Like they used the setup from Notorious. They recreated a lot of that.
Yeah, same thing with Pac. They recreated All Eyes on Me. You saw that they were using those two.
Yeah,
exactly. So whoever it is taking things that we're familiar with and putting them in, and then it's like I like how they described it from what the police saw. When they took the case from the cop and he was giving them all the information, and the white truck, all the things that we don't have questions. Was the white truck involved and things of that nature? I guess what happens is there's facts. Also, they mentioned the lawsuit between Biggie's mom and the LAPD.
Yeah. Yeah.
Based on this guy's investigation, which we're gonna find out what the big thing was. Because remember, their first meeting wasn't so great, but then she said, neither they can't talk to her and they can't talk to him, the task force. So they got to find out everything through what he wrote. So basically, they're showing them researching what he wrote while they're putting the stuff together to putting the task force together, which is going to be really interesting. As the first episode, I've seen worse pilots. Like, even as much as I love Alias, the pilot of Alias was probably the weakest of the whole show, but it got me in enough to want to see it because it's a pilot. You're learning everything. It's like you're taking in too much. You're not in the flow of the show yet.
Right.
Like
the beginning.
The Blacklist, you got to learn who stuff like that. Once you got on that ride, you're on that ride, and when something happens, you're like, oh no, you don't want certain people to die. Like first season of Blacklist, my girl died. I was heartbroken. But
okay.
So that's what I saw out of this. It's a lot of stuff on USA has been good. So people have been sleeping on USA production. They produce a lot of good shows on USA in-house, and it wasn't enough for them to warrant a multiple year series, but it may start a series looking into other things with hip hop, which I hope
I get what you're saying. You're saying that this could lead to another Unsolved of another rapper.
Yeah.
Yes.
I get what you're saying. That could happen.
Yeah, but 20 years, no justice.
But it's good that somebody wanted to produce something to bring attention to it, because it could just die, and it's good that USA, NBC, Comcast, that whole conglomerate is letting it fly. It didn't make it to NBC, but it made it to USA, which is good, because that's a watch network by a lot of people anyway.
Yeah. Target market has a lot to do with that. I notice it comes on the same. I notice it comes on the same day as Black Lightning. It comes on right after Black Lightning, so
which is perfect.
Which is perfect for me because I love Black Lightning.
That's the day I watch TV.
Yeah, exactly. Tuesday nights it comes on right after Black Lightning, so it's almost like you notice if you watch Black Lightning, you saw the advertisements for that show on CW, so they knew exactly where to promote. They knew exactly where to promote it. They promoted it on BT. They promoted it on anything that black folks of our demographic and our musical interests would watch. So they did a good. I would say they knew exactly what they was doing, and they put it on a time slot that didn't compete with Black Lightning, which Black Lightning in ratings would kill this show if they would have had it on at the same time.
It would have given it at the same time. Oh, okay.
If they would have had it on at the same time, it would have destroyed them in ratings.
Yeah.
So that's why it's good they put it on hour after. Yeah. So I'm gonna give my take on it, but I want to get a little deeper. Here's my thing, and I'm gonna ask you guys first before I get into it. How do you feel about the acting of the guy who plays Biggie and the guy who plays Pac? Cinema, you go first.
Oh my gosh. I'm kind of, I think those are the two weakest actors on the show right now, unless they give me something later.
Out of the two, who's the strongest?
I think the Biggie actor is stronger than the Pac actor.
Good. I'm gonna get into that one. Go ahead. Keep going.
I'm not mad at the Biggie actor.
Right.
You're trying to act something, but then again, you're on something that seems unauthorized. So research is limited.
Yep.
I'm not even gonna say that. It's just they seem limited by what they can do or can't do.
Right.
Too.
Right.
Then, there's lane language because USA is allowing the language, so that's not the problem.
Yeah, there's some language letting it fly, definitely.
But despite the language letting it fly, some scenes feel forced. I like the freestyle scene where they were going back and forth.
Yeah,
that they
caught
the
something.
Room. They caught some magic in there.
Yeah,
I'm not dragging these you actors. If you hear this, I'm not dragging y'all down.
No.
Just we haven't seen the whole thing. We've only seen a couple of clips. The water fight, the gunfight playing in the water was hot.
That was cool to see. It was fun. You know,
was fun.
You got to see a human side of them.
Right. I said I hope the dialogue gets better because I think some of it is the dialogue wasn't good. The freestyle was hot.
Yeah.
That's like something they would kind of spit. But the dialogue was kind of like,
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're letting it fly, but the dialogue is still kind of not like how you hear them talk in interviews and stuff. I mean, if you can't get something as a writer, just watch their interviews. Their interviews are all over YouTube.
Yep.
Use some of their language in what they're saying. You hit it right on the head with me. That was the thing I like because I'm enjoying the detective guy, the mustache guy. A little too much little too much for my comfort. And I'm like, this character's quirky because I love stuff like SVU and the cop show.
Yeah.
I love SWAT. I love the new SWAT.
Well, this show has a Law and Order feel, so that would explain.
So.
Yeah,
it does. It does. Yeah,
exactly.
It does.
And so I'm feeling that, and I'm feeling it. It's like Law and Order. If you had past, present, and I like Bokeem and the other guy who doing the investigation. I just know they haven't started doing nothing yet. I like how they established them and how he's like, yo, man, you got to listen to the music, you know?
Right.
And I'm like, and I'm glad he went to get somebody who understood how important this guy is to the community for when he did the task force. I'm looking forward to the rest of this because,
Yeah, we're going to watch it we're going to watch this whole thing.
Yeah.
We're
going to watch the whole thing. But about those two, something, hopefully, that's a pilot. So when you're filming a pilot, you don't know your direction.
Yeah.
And as the show goes, it might find the direction with them. But as of now, I give Biggie a B and I give Pac C-.
Okay.
Because he got to catch Pac. Because me.
Yeah.
I listen to Pac from Digital Underground. And just
if we was to compare that guy's
Pac.
If we was to compare these guys' performances from Gravy's performance with Biggie and Cat who played Pac in All Eyes on Me, I don't know his name. So, I mean, if we was comparing it to that, the best we've seen so far of people who've played Biggie and Pac are the two movies. As with this one, you have the guy who's playing Big. He's trying to look at that and say, okay, well, I might sound like how they did it in the movie, or I might sound like Big himself, or I might not. I think he's probably, in terms of casting, I think the casting was better for the cat who's playing Biggie right now than the cat who's playing Pac, because he has the look, and I think he has his cadence decent. The cat who's playing Pac does not have Pac's cadence. He does not have his mannerisms. He doesn't. I need a little more from that guy. He's not doing as well as I would hope he would.
I think
because Pac guy's gonna go. I don't know. His character was too generous. The Pac guy. I don't know. I just thought it was too like.
I don't think it's so much about the generous. I'm talking about, do you have Pac's talking cadence? Do you have his mannerisms? Do you have anything to us as the audience that reminds us of how we looked at Pac? I'm saying that the guy who's playing Pac right now is looking kind of shaky.
Right. When he got up and gave Biggie a pound, it didn't look like Pac.
No, he didn't talk like Pac. He didn't have anything of. I'm just trying to figure out who, you have to, if you're going to play somebody or portray somebody in a role, you have to study them. You have to do things that, like the guy who played Pac in the movie, A lot of people
Yeah.
are very critical of All Eyes on Me. All Eyes on Me, I thought was decent, but the dude who played Pac, when I look at the guy who's playing Pac now in this show, I'm thankful for the guy who played Pac in the movie because he actually did a very good. Yeah, and All Eyes on Me, he did
get a pass now.
Yeah.
If you're grading them to those two guys too, the grades are gonna go down.
Right, because Gravy did a good job playing Biggie. So this cat in the show is really trying to live up to that in Notorious. Yeah.
Yeah, Notorious is a classic. That's something I watched with my dad even recently again.
Yeah, that's Notorious is good.
It became a classic. Yeah.
That's a good movie.
It's a good movie, just even with the, everything. And, even the accident, everything that's happened to Biggie, it was good.
Yeah.
It was very good. And for a fan, it's what you wanted to see. It had everything about everything you remember, but then without giving away too much of personal stuff, it had enough so you knew what was going on. All
right, let's get.
And so,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So if you're rating that to that, the guy who's Pac, I think it was, and what hurt Biggie's performance is because he's interacting with Pac, and Pac is not there's so much video and stuff on Pac on the internet that if you're studying, plus it's a pilot, so I don't know if the first day they were nervous or something.
Could
so
be.
Week by week we'll see the production, we'll see the progression, because the longer you do a series, the more you fall into a character. Everybody else, like who's playing the police, are experienced actors.
They are
more so than those two.
That's a fact.
That could be hurting them too. My man who does the strike force, you've seen him in a lot of that dude's act your butt off. Bokeem's a act your butt off. Those cops are acting their butts off.
Michael Beach too.
Yeah, he's talking about Michael Beach. Yeah, the bald head. See, here's the thing: the guy who Gravy never acted before Notorious. The guy who played Pac and All Eyes on Me, he never acted before All Eyes on Me. But there was more attention to detail and time with these movies before they went into production with these actors to become that. Yeah, movies are on a different schedule than series, than a TV show. They're on a different schedule.
TV, you're filming an episode a week. Then that episode's done in the can. You're going and doing voiceovers on last week's episode while you're filming this week's episode. It's long production hours.
Yeah.
It's like 5 or 6 days. You're filming an episode of NCIS LA and you're doing long nights. So, a lot of people in TV series, are just busy because that's the nature of the gonna do reshoot on a TV show. You don't have that in the budget. Reshoots are only if they're necessary. They do them, but you're taking time off the next episode.
Zaccheus, let me get you in here because you've been waiting. Now you mentioned about the music. Off the air, we was saying that there are no original Biggie and Pac recordings of their music. That's to their original. Like if we go to their CDs and them songs are not on the show. I find it interesting that a show, but we'll get into why it's like this. They obviously it's unauthorized, because if it was authorized, then we would hear Biggie and Pac music. We don't hear that. We don't hear the original music. We don't hear anything from Ready to Die. We don't hear anything from Me Against the World. None of them albums. None of them. Okay?
Okay.
You hear like recreations of stuff. What that tells me is they did not have permission and a license to do it. But what you do hear is you hear music from other artists, which is interesting.
That 70s joint. I forgot. Yeah, but yeah.
Well, there's a couple. Zaccheus, I tell you what I heard. What music did you hear on that show, episode 1?
I forgot the name of the artist. I heard one of the 70s soul music songs when the dude was doing undercover, where the detective was riding through the town, and I heard like a recap of it was not Biggie's voice himself, but it was a clip of one of the songs. A clip of it. I can't even. It was not. It was like I said before. The music was not even. If you was listen to the looking at the series real carefully, like you know how you'll look at a movie or you look at or a series and the artists you hear their music being played throughout the whole
movie or show.
Yeah, or the shows.
Yeah, you don't hear
that. I didn't get that feel at all from that. I was like, what?
No, it don't. It doesn't seem as organic as it should.
And that's the only thing that kind of like was kind of I didn't like about the show, But other than that, it was okay. But I didn't. That's aspect of the music, because Pac and Biggie had a lot of music.
Hey, would you say that's the? Would you say? Because I got a question to you. Would you say that's the biggest negative with this show so far?
I say so.
Yeah, I agree.
Say so because I say so because what makes a good movie, what makes a good storyline and a good movie is also the music. It's also the music. I've written a book.
Yeah.
I've written a book, Batman Thug and a Gangster. Yeah. And I take back in the 80s and 90s. And I mentioned the music at the time that was being played. At the time that was being portrayed, at the time that people was pumping on the streets and people was loving it. Time 93, 94, 95, especially 94 when Biggie came out with his first joint. That was that joint was getting heavy rotation on the radio. I remember. I'm trying to think of it now, man. Biggie Smalls is the illest. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That joint was getting played. Like, I remember 1994, that joint was getting heavy rotation. And I'm like, okay. That's what I expected from when I was gonna view Unsolved, that I was expecting to hear the music.
I was very disappointed that I didn't hear any original Biggie and Pac music. But you know what? I guess I can't act surprised, because when the show was being promoted, it played heavily Gang Starr's Royalty. I love that record. Don't get me wrong, but that's not Biggie and Pac. If you were doing a show or a movie on Guru, rest in peace, Guru from Gang Starr, then that would make sense. But it doesn't.
Sense, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then when I watched the show, I guess I said, you know what? The preview should have let me know that they wasn't going to have any of their music. So my thing is, I'm going to get to you in a second, Cinema, because, all right, so another question is Zaccheus. Okay. Do you think that this show should even should have even happened? If, you know, being that they don't have the rights to, obviously they don't have rights to Biggie and Pac's music, so it's unauthorized and stuff like that. Do you think that this show should have even been made without that even happening?
I think they should have waited until they get it clear, because when you do put music in it, it get more younger viewers, get more of an audience. That's my opinion, you know. I think it should have wait till they get that clear, and wait till they get that comfortable permission to play, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to know who was the murderers of Tupac and Biggie, and they want to, and a lot of young people don't know that a lot of young people don't get open up to the music like that of Tupac and Biggie. They listen to what's on the radio today right now. No, so that right there, I think they should have waited. It would have made more of a heavier impact if they would have waited and get the permission to play the music, and also get the blessings from Mother Wallace and so forth and so forth and so forth. You know what I'm saying?
Because Afina is gone. So with Afina being gone, you only have, out of the two, Biggie's mother's still alive. So that's interesting. Cinema.
There's one thing everyone's forgetting. You may not be able to get the Death Row Pac stuff, but who owns Interscope's catalogs? Interscope has Tupac catalogs of his early stuff.
Well, they didn't get rights for them either because then we would have heard something from Interscope.
Exactly. I'm like, Brenda's Got a Baby, Strictly for My Ends, which I'm not going to say the full title on our show. The album, he had albums before. Number one, what about the unlicensed stuff? Let somebody come at you. Troublesome 21 has no label. As many albums that got rejected by his company that he had to put on the download. If you put something from Troublesome 21, who's suing you? It's a leaked album. That's what I'm saying. When you do something like this, okay, on the production side, they got that. I know that. But if you're going to do music, you got to bring somebody in who knows about these things, who could find stuff. Okay, can't get Biggie stuff. Rare radio freestyles.
Yeah, at least.
Something.
Yeah.
There's stuff out there to get. Yeah. Like when you text me, I was like, my mind was going. I was like, you text me with the thought I was having.
Yes.
I'm like, and then it's recreations in the headphones. I'm like, you can get Rare radio remixes. There's Black Thought Rare radio remixes when he's on New York. Stretch and Bobbito, reach out to them.
Dude,
they got stuff for years by everybody from all those shows they did.
Yo, I text you that very moment. When I text you that moment, they was playing Tribe Called Quest. They was playing Montel Jordan. They was, but no Biggie or Pac.
Okay.
Yeah, which was
you need two, okay, you need two Biggie verses. Invincible Michael Jackson. Biggie, old Biggie verses on that song. A verse we know, but it's over a different beat. Boom, ba-bum, ba-bum, bum. There's a Biggie version on DS, which is about the lawyer who came against Michael Jackson. There's a Biggie verse on that song. Let's talk about features that they don't own.
Yeah.
Those main companies. I don't think you did enough footwork on the music licensing because
could it be their estate?
Biggie has a feature.
But could it be their estate is what fought it? You know you know what I'm saying? Like because Pac has
number one.
Yeah.
If you're going for the estate, it's the estate and Puffy. If you're dealing with Biggie,
if you're dealing right.
Death Row, I don't know with Suge still technically owns that, but he does business. They were distributed by Interscope, but they operated within their building, for a season, and then they moved out. So Interscope really was more of a distributor for them, and they really ran their own label. According to the Defiant Ones and what everyone said. So, I'm not just reaching on that. So basically, everything modern Pac was Death Row, but there's underground albums he even dropped on Death Row. You're not going to get stuff, but you could get music by the dude, even to go in the background. There's ways, or how much does the Tupac estate own?
Yeah.
Did she win everything? And then now who's running that estate?
You want to hear something? I find it interesting that how Afina ended up winning the case. And all of a sudden, later on, she dies. That was a big question when she passed away. That was a big question when she passed away.
That was weird. That was weird.
Yes, the timing was definitely weird. You remember that, right?
Can I do a real quick recap?
Sounds very familiar with Prince's situation too, right?
Whitney. Michael dies. His catalog goes back to Epic. Even though the estate's there. Because they're going to deal with somebody. Prince, they just signed off the vault. You saw me put it up. Universal got distribution of the albums that were not even owned by a company that he had done independently. Everything in the vault in Minneapolis, they're going to release. Now, let's talk what's in Prince's vault, complete albums with videos done. That's what's in that vault. And so every time someone dies and you mentioned a catalog. Like I said, I'll let you own it as long as I make money. Now, the Beatles catalog was bought by Michael, but it was released, so Paul got his money because if I'm a writer and I don't own it, I ain't fighting for that catalog if that catalog would get me killed. Real talk. But see, right now, I'm starting off owning my catalog, so that's different. If they own your catalog and then you win it, like Prince, even though he never had that, he had a catalog he made separate from the label nobody could touch till now.
Oh.
And I don't know the circumstances of how much, who owns how much, because you're dealing with a lot of family when it comes to Prince. And a lot of half brothers and sisters. And I'm not going to speak on their business because I don't know their business. But basically, when it's that way, it's beneficial for you to agree and just do something, because it's too much to try to split up how much. Because if the profits come in, it's easier to split profits coming in than split ownership of what's in that vault. So, you think these business people don't know that? And, and all these coincidences, Whitney, then Bobby.
Yeah.
Christina.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And so you're thinking about this. These, Whitney was about to get her cat because she had, people have stuff in their contracts that people forget about because they're savvy. And so certain things got to happen. Michael, about to do a concert, he owns his catalogs. Now he's gone, all of a sudden, concert tour, there's a loss. And, he's got kids. There, and somebody else has to handle it. Paris is an adult and his son's an adult now, but, decisions were made for them. And post-mortem stuff came out. And post-mortem Michael Jackson material came out before they were grown.
The moral of the story is that if they own you when you're alive, they'll own you when you're dead.
Exactly. That's the point.
We're gonna have to wrap this up. Zaccheus, you was about to cut in and say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I gotta roll out, but
all right, we'll start with your final thought. Go ahead.
My final thought is that I'm glad I am glad they're doing something about the unsolved mystery of Tupac and Biggie, which is good. Really good. That's one aspect I'm happy of. But that's one thing I have to say.
All right, Zach, give your handle out, your Twitter, your Facebook out. Go ahead.
Me on Twitter, Wayne on Twitter, or on Twitter, or you can reach me on Facebook on Wayne Zaccheus Bacchus on Facebook. Also, you can hit me on Instagram on Wayne Bacchus on Instagram. Or the Zaccheus B73 on Instagram.
All right, that's what's up. Zaccheus, if you got to go, you can log off. Go ahead.
All right, peace out, y'all. Peace out, Shamik, Cinema, and Fifth. You see y'all. Peace.
All right, so we're gonna so Zaccheus had to sign off. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna finish out. Cinema, what's your final thought on everything that we talked about today?
I think they wanted to do the series because it seemed like they needed to get it done. But, despite the things we pointed out, I'm waiting to see the whole thing. Hopefully it gets better. But I don't think the music situation is going to change because, if you have it, it would be there from day one unless they're saving what they got for, like, special things.
Yeah.
Because even at the party, it was a Biggie release party, and no Biggie was playing. Because remember the movie they were playing the new album? And then you text me, and I'm crying.
Dude, they was playing Tribe Called Quest World Tour. So I mean,
yeah, which wasn't even from the same year. If you're gonna play something from the same year.
Oh my God.
What's saving that thing is the Law and Order right now.
That's true.
And it's interesting enough because the other stuff is like that cracked me up. Boom, boom, boom. That wasn't even that time for that album.
I mean, it's a classic, but still, it just doesn't.
And you're talking about that Biggie album that had just come out right before he died? And what was out during that?
Yeah.
That was not even close.
Oh my God. Oh man.
And they wasn't spending that type of stuff like at that year. That's what I'm talking about. That's what Zaccheus was saying. I was looking forward to the music too. I'm like, oh, because you know how you get something.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do something for Black entertainment, it better have the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I mean, Above the Rim, classic soundtrack.
Yeah.
All the movie soundtracks of the 90s were Bomb Squad. Even the Space Jam soundtrack, man.
Oh, that's a classic.
Exactly. If I hit him high, and that was even a strong single off of that. I mean, even the things that weren't the singles,
right.
It got a video.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
even the stuff that wasn't the strong singles was fire.
It was the strongest hip hop single, but the strongest singles were, Seal and R. Kelly and Brian McKnight songs and Monica, and I mean that soundtrack had everything.
You're talking about a fire hip hop song.
Julio was on that.
Busta, Be Real.
Yeah.
And Coolio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Meth.
Yeah.
We're all for you to left.
That
take your championship with nothing left to play for the instant replay clip. Boss! They all killed it. That was just.
They did. They did.
You understand?
Yeah, I get your point.
That's our culture.
I definitely get your point, and I'm very disappointed in this. I'm sorry, I'm going to get a little closer to the mic. I'm very disappointed in this series so far when it comes to the original music. Anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah, but that was what we were waiting to get at. Zaccheus said a lot of great points.
Yeah, he did.
It's true.
Yeah.
Because what encompasses all this great thing is the music. Like what gets you chills is the music. I saw Red Sparrow this weekend. I'm not even trying to promo it, but it has a certain feel of flow with the classical music and what it is. It gets you in the mood for the movie you're watching. It's part of what the characters do. All of that works together. That makes great TV and a great film. Something Alias used was orchestral music as it went along,
Yeah.
And so it gave you that like espionage feel. So that's, the hip hop in it could have been from that time. I mean, it's like whoever was in charge of the music is just like, oh, I'll just throw a hip hop song in there I like. Nah, dog. I love Tribe, but that don't fit in the Biggie Pac thing. I love Tribe.
Yes.
I love Tribe. Man, I was glad that this last album got out, even though, we only got I just wanted to hear them together one more time. That was my dream. But, you can't put that in a Biggie party in California. And that's my track. I'll put that on. I put that on in my car all the time. But
oh, good.
Sesame Street. One of these things just don't belong.
I'm telling you, man. Well, I agree with Zaccheus when he said they should have waited until they had the license to the music.
Right. Or get some licenses or get some radio appearances or get something legal you can get that's actually them. It'd be fat. Oh, he's at a radio station. He does a freestyle. There's California radio stations, and stuff like that. They got stuff like that. there's video you could recreate of something. Do something, you're playing it out of order and then you're just trying to make a transistor so you don't get sued. Everyone's listening to headphones. And I'm like, how's the man listening in the CD Walkman in the past and in the current gen, like 10 years later, he's still listening to a CD Walkman? iPod was that. You know I'm wrong because I read script writing books and I look for continuity. I always look for continuity flaws because I do that in movies. I'm like, yo, you bring that Walkman back. It's 10 years. iPod, the original iPod was out back then, son.
Yeah, in 98?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, it was goofy. Or, number one, that, and then I'm like, but 10 years later on the Strike Force, there's no iPod?
I have a question. Was there a smartphone on that show? Was there?
Oh gosh, I gotta look at it. I DVR'd it. I'm DVRing it so I can go back and watch it. If I see, I'm gonna get a screen grab. If it is, I'm gonna get a screen grab and circle it and put it on my Instagram. This week I'm looking for smartphones. I'm looking for out of place while I'm watching it. I'm looking for things out of place because the CD player cracked me up. I'm like, that's the same CD player, not 1998. Right. That detective having it, is fine. Right. But the Strike Force,
right?
I know it's been 20 years, but in the 2000s we weren't walking around with CD players. The early, the different iPods and the other digital devices and stuff were out. The MP3 player was out. Mm. It's just we're at the point where it's inside of our phone now. Yeah. So that's 10 years past that. But back then, I remember I didn't have no loot to have an MP3 player in one time, and I took my old CD player and people were laughing at me, and I'm like, I don't care. Yeah. My MP3 player broke, really. I'm just exaggerating. But you know what I'm saying? When the Strike Force came, if you had that CD player, what? And then it's like if they're listening to the music together, you think a boombox, I could see the other station, but in the Strike Force, y'all got a private room. It's like y'all are trying too hard to cover up. You don't have the rights to the music. It's just little simple things that I'm sitting there laughing and then you text me and I'm done. Yeah, so basically, and that's I know I've gone on, but I just want to reiterate, it's just for continuity's sake.
Yeah. Nah, you have a good point. You have a good point.
I hate the badger, but I'm looking at this. Yeah. But whatever good comes out of it,
yeah.
Hopefully somebody else want to make something who has right.
Yeah.
Hint, hint.
Yeah.
So we could get a more detailed thing from the other side, because the police files, people, you have access to this stuff now. People are putting these things together. Mm-hmm. They could do it, because they're doing the Versace, they're doing all the stuff now,
Right.
They did OJ, so I'm glad it's being made.
Yeah, exactly.
Despite them not having the music. I would have loved for them to wait for the music, but you don't know the legalities of how long they can't make it, or if they just needed to make it before something else happened.
Right.
So we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We could joke and stuff, but overall the cop vibe of it is good. I hope the artist vibe and the thing gets better. We see other people depicted in their lives. And then, I can't wait for them to get to Vegas to see what happens there.
Yeah. I want to see how they recreate that scene.
Yeah. And what did they find out?
Right.
And then you see a lot of these cops working security, which is normal. They do that. They do that in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. So there's nothing criminal about that. They're just freelancing, which they can.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't have a final thought. I think I said what I needed to say, but no, I would. We just got to see how this season goes.
Ends up.
Yeah, we got to see how it's gonna, so we can give our full review. This is just basically our reaction,
just
to the first episode. But when we get our full review, then we'll be able to really discuss the show. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna close this out. Cinemascapes, where can they reach you?
Twitter, Cinemascapes, Instagram, Cinemascapes, Facebook, Cinemascapes Music, and you could go to iTunes, Cinemascapes Orientation, and you could download that. It's on Tidal, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Play. You could stream it. Y'all don't want to spend no money, just go stream it wherever you stream stuff.
Yeah,
it's
support
everywhere.
it.
Digital, yeah.
Definitely support it. All right. You can reach me at The Fifth General at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. At The Fifth General, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So we're going to get up out of here. Zaccheus already left. All right, signing off. The Fifth General, Cinemascapes. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
Peace.